one's self, the greater jihad, common parlance for a defensive holy war, lesser jihad. This is not a religious obligation in Islam, but in ISIS's cultist practice, it is a lifelong obligation to be carried out until death. Jund al-Khalifa, soldiers of the Caliphate, euphemism for ISIS Middle East terrorists. Kafir, kufra, infidel, unbeliever. Those who have lived in ignorance of Islam. Khalifa, the Caliphate of the self-appointed Islamic State. Khanzir, pig. Terms used by ISIS for enemy Muslim soldiers or Shia Muslims, people to be slaughtered by beheading. Milah, path of righteousness. Muhajirun, mujhajirat, men, women, who have chosen to abandon their past lives and emigrate from the land of the disbelievers to the Caliphate, ISIS-controlled territory. Mental muhajirun are those who cannot physically leave but mentally separate themselves from family, friends, infidels, and other Muslims to live like those in the Caliphate, a common practice among those planning a terror attack. Mujahid, mujahideen, plural, one who is involved in a holy struggle or jihad. Munafiq, munafiqun, plural, person who professes faith in Islam but conceals dissent against the cause, a hypocrite or traitor. Murtad, murtadin, plural, apostate, rejectionist, one who leaves Islam for another religion, often used for Muslim enemies. Mutawayun, collaborators, those who work with America or its allies in espionage or government. Muwahidun, those who are believers in monotheism, belief in the one God. Quds, Jerusalem, home of third holiest shrine in Islam, Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa Mosque. Rafida, apostates, Muslims who have left Islam, used by ISIS adherents to arbitrarily declare any Muslim as a heretic and worthy of death. Ramadan, a month in the Islamic calendar during which fasting is a way to focus on the worship of God. Ribat, Islamic historical term for a combat outpost or small mud-dirt fort from the desert skirmishes of the Prophet Muhammad. Sahaba, the immediate friends and companions of the Prophet Muhammad at the founding of Islam in the 7th century, considered the best role models for Muslims. Sawat, traitors, any Muslim military personnel that does not defect to ISIS. Salafi, Salafist, ultra-Orthodox practice of persons who live their modern lives in the manner of the 7th century Sahaba, or friends and companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Salafists are extremely orthodox in prayer, dress, diet, and lifestyle. Sama, to listen. Sayyara Mufaka, booby-trapped car bomb, suicide vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, SVB IED. Salibi, Salibiyin, those who carry the cross. Crusaders, Westerners, particularly military and government workers. Shaheed, death as a martyr in a just war. This is not an obligation in Islam, but in ISIS's cultist practice, all adherents must strive to martyr themselves in jihad. Sharia, Islamic law. Shaitan, Satan. Shirk, the practice of idolatry or polytheism, belief in a God who is not Allah or in many gods. Shuhida, Amelia Shuhida, suicide operation or suicide bombing. Sunnah, the way of life prescribed to Muslims on the basis of Muhammad's teachings and interpretation of the Quran. Ta, obedience. Takbir, a call to recognize the greatness of God, followed by Allahu Akbar. Takfir, to declare or accuse another person of being a kafir, or unbeliever. In ISIS practice, this is a preliminary sanctification of and